help us. South Korea didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Australia didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Japan. We've got 50,000 soldiers in Japan to protect them from North Korea. We have 45,000 soldiers in South Korea to protect us from Kim Jong-un, who I get along with very well, as you know. Do you notice he said very nice things about me? He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded person, okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible. But to me, he likes Trump. And do you notice how nice things are with North Korea? It's very nice. But we have 45,000 people, soldiers, in harm's way, and right next to Kim Jong-un with a lot of nuclear weapons. 45, which should have never happened if a certain president, I'm not going to mention this president because I happen to like him, believe it or not, but if a certain president did his job, Kim Jong-un would not have nuclear weapons right now. But they were all afraid to do their job properly. But just to conclude and just to finish, Japan didn't help us, Australia didn't help us, South Korea didn't help us, and then you get to NATO. NATO didn't help us. There were some countries that did. Now, countries that have been good, now you could also say they're got to be a little bit more involved because they're in the territory, but Saudi Arabia has been excellent. Qatar has been excellent. UAE has been excellent. Bahrain, Kuwait. I mean, Kuwait did shoot down 3 of our planes. The only planes, really, that we lost with friendly fire, they call it. I call it unfriendly fire. They unfortunately didn't know how to use our great Patriots. The pilot said, what kind of a missile's coming at us? Patriot. Boom. They got out. Because they know a Patriot never misses. So they had beautiful Patriots. There were planes heading in their direction. Unfortunately, they decided to shoot those planes. They were our planes. So, NATO is a paper tiger. Now, he's coming to see me on Wednesday, as you know. He's a wonderful guy. Secretary General is great. And Mark Rutte, he's a great person, but he's got... And it all began with, if you want to know the truth, Greenland. We want Greenland. They don't want to give it to us. And I said, bye-bye. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
What about rising gas prices for Americans who are concerned?
General King, how are you?
We just completed what we call ISVV1A in good NASA acronym speak, but we woke up this morning, went through medical checks, had breakfast as a crew while Charlie and her team were getting the simulated vehicle ready for launch day. We got in our crew transfer vehicles, our CTVs, we came out to the pad, we went up 2 elevators to the 274-foot level, and we met there, our White Room closeout team, one of our fellow astronauts, Jessica Meir, and then 4 technicians who will get us in the Orion on launch day. So it was a great end-to-end run-through of what we will do when we get on this vehicle and head to the moon.
Well, one of the reasons is because we've never done this before, not on this vehicle and with this team. This is the team that is actually going to get us strapped in and get the vehicle tanked up and topped off on launch day. So it's important for this team to try out these procedures, but this procedure was written in a series of meetings over a decade, and so today was the first time we've had a chance to run the integrated timeline from beginning to the scrub.
On launch day, we'll be in quarantine and we'll have a professional staff there to make us our meal before we head out to the pad. This morning, it was just simple, grabbing stuff out of the fridge, getting a little breakfast, cup of coffee. Victor and I both love our coffee in the morning, and then we were heading out. So it was pretty simple today.
Honestly, I didn't really think a lot about the vehicle after I got in and sat down. I was comfortable and cool, and we had some conversations with our insertion tech, Bill, and we talked about background, and so it was actually just sitting with friends on the drive out to the launch pad. It wasn't until we got to the launch pad that it started to hit me, actually. When we walked out that crew access arm, I just had images of all those Apollo launches and shuttle launches that I saw as a kid, and it was unreal. I actually had to stop and just stand a moment in the crew access arm to really let it all sink in.
And I just want to add, that we're standing here looking at 39A, we're standing under 39B, thinking that you went off that pad on the first SpaceX crewed long duration flight, and we're going to leave here and go to the moon. This is the best place in the world to be.
Yeah. It's always great to be here. You know how much I love being here, Tony. And to be here with this crew in these suits, with this team. And that's really what's exciting. I mean, I love KSC. I'm happy here on Sundays when I'm here by myself in quarantine, but today is really about the team. I love days where I'm reminded how many people it takes to do what we do. And today, we also had a lot of folks that we can't see, but we hear them on the loops. All the folks in LCC, the Launch Control Center, that are working this, and all the folks that are going to be getting this vehicle ready. It's amazing how many folks it takes to make this possible.
Nope, it's just great to be here.
I feel like every opportunity that we have to work with the teams brings us a step closer to feeling like this is real. Whether we're meeting with the team making our service module, the team making the solid rocket boosters, the team making the main engines, every team that we meet with, and now Exploration Ground Systems is added to that list, it brings it a little bit closer because it's really about the team that we've joined to make this mission possible.
So today did feel different because you're exercising, the whole routine from wake up to